All right, hello everyone. So it's Friday today. Let's do it. Okay, this is yesterday. So let's start with gold yesterday. Once again, right at the Astro hours here, slightly under where we said. Okay, so it came up to this 1923 zone. 1925 is what we had. So from these Astro levels, as you can see, just fell down once nicely. Second time. When you're in a situation like this and the market did the high there, it's actually better. Because what you can do is do the sell trade around here with a tight stop loss just above here, because if it goes above there you don't want to be there. All right, and then the market, as you can see, fell down here. Now put the Astro hours for today here, and actually we've got some good levels today that we can trade at. Now Sunday we're going to have a special aspect on Sunday, okay, which should make Monday a good place for a swing. Okay, so hopefully our swing days, I haven't calculated the swing days yet, but the swing days will probably have Monday in it. Okay, so and it's going to be like I said, August, September is going to be like really nice. We're already at the end of August, but September is going to be really nice for us to get some swings in. Now let's take a look at gold on the daily. Now remember, with gold, if I tighten this up a little bit, you guys know we're going to come down a little bit, okay? As I said yesterday, if we go up to the Mars line, there's the Mars line there, that's the red one there, as you can see, right? Mars. If it goes up to the Mars line, then we can sell off here in this blue zone here, right? And it's pretty much done that right there, okay? So on the weekly, here's the weekly. We had the 45, it broke above the 1911, as you can see. I also talked about this level. This is still on the cards, okay? Normally the market likes to retest, go up, and then come back down again. So the Mars line being our trend line, it's kind of like a goodbye kiss here, and pretty much. This is a blue bar I talked about before. Let me just make this a little bigger. This is where the market did that last up move before the crash down, as you can see. Okay, so the market selling off from here is also logical. Okay, and it also swept, as you can see, the stop losses. We had even highs here, it stops down. So the market selling down can be again an option here. If we go back up, it might sell down. There's room to come down here, as you can see. Okay, but it's filled in the gap here. Okay, so there's no more gap to fill. Okay, and then so we're in a bit of a tricky situation here. There are two things that can happen. If we go up, we should sell off. Okay, so the question is where to sell. This zone again is not a bad idea. So to high of yesterday's 1923, 1925, we can still keep on the cards. What's that? 55 was too far out. That's 1960. But we can still keep this 35 on the cards as well. And this is all done up here. All right. So this is pretty much all done. So this 1925 zone we can still keep in mind. If the market comes up there, previous day's high, we can actually sell off around here as well. Okay, it's 1920s. If the market comes down first, okay, there's room to come down. As you can see, there's room to come down here, and we want to get into this zone. If it doesn't go up, okay, and keeps coming down, then what you're going to have to look for is this. Okay, the market's already down. Let's refresh this. There's your daily pivot there. If we're down here, and then we kind of like go up into an Astro hour, then you can follow it down. Just be mindful, because like I said, Sunday we've got this special aspect coming in, and when that comes in, Monday is going to be probably going to be a decent day. Today also we're going to have some good moves in the market, so keep an eye out for this for lunchtime. Okay, so from 8:40 to 9, 10 past 9 or quarter past 9 is not a bad place. Also the 12:25 to 1 o'clock Okay, that zone is not a bad idea with 250 in mind. All right, so we've got a few levels today as well. All right, so selling here, okay, or at the highs is okay. If the market doesn't go up there, it sticks around here. This is where they bought me yesterday. Also a good spot, but just be mindful there's room to come down. Why? Because this is the place where the market shot up, right, all the way at 1900. All right, so just be a bit mindful that we can have levels down there as well. So this is why using your Astro hours is important, and entering at levels where there's like a good buy kiss or where we're retesting a level is important. Okay, rightio. So on the SP 500, let's take a look. Now SP 500, this is the daily. Remember, I said we should get into this zone, so the market got into that zone. I said there might be a bit of a room further going up into there, but you can see it tapped into the body here. All right, if I just shrink this from the body to the body, that's the body there, and this is the body there. You can see it tapped in there nicely at the Astro hours, and that's it. You know, it's just the market, boom, coming down. So if you followed that through, great. Even if you didn't get that right, and if you were in the afternoon, you would have been okay here, because even if you sold at these Astro hours here, this is the resistance. So you sold here, your stop loss just needed to be above the high of that wick there, okay, and you just push it all the way down. So that's how it is. Now the daily pivot is here today, right with the weekly. That was a really good push. This should have room up because it's got a bunch of gaps to fill in. So we should at least come up to the daily and the weekly pivot, which is, let's just get back into the 15-minute chart. That swing is not broken yet, but there are gaps here. So this thing should move up at least into this red zone, and highly likely to come into there and above. So if you want to go long, you can, okay, from the lows you can go long at Astro hours. I think there's room to come down, and this is nice. I'll tell you why it's nice. Okay, as you can see, this is an uptrend, okay, and this is a shoulder, head, shoulder. All right, if this eventuates, we'll end up here, okay. And it's no wonder the market is telling us, well, the ATAM strategy is telling us, listen, if you break this line here, you're likely to end up down here. And that's nice, because from here to here, it's, as you can see, 25, 27, well, let's just say 27,000, all the way down here, 27,000. So all the way down to the lows is where we could come down to. All right. So buying the lows to go up to sell is not a bad idea. Be mindful for the low of this bar here, which is 4,388. 4,388 is up here, which is pretty much in this zone here. All right, so that's also going to be a level, 4,388, technically retesting the low of yesterday, the day before. All right, and that's that, but that's already broken nicely. Okay, so we broke below the low of yesterday, but if we go up, selling at the highs is not a bad idea. I'm going to get rid of this on the daily. Okay, the first resistance, as you can see, is that 42, 4,407, 4,000, and that's your pretty much your daily there. Okay, so this zone, like I said, is also going to be a resistance level there. If it gets up, you see how they sold here nicely, going up to fill in the gaps, taking the stops here, and then pushing back down is definitely an option. All right, and then the next level to sell off again is going to be this red zone here. Okay, and that's also logical. There's gaps here as well. So the market at an Astro hour, okay, we should be moving up from these low levels, okay, into an up move. Keep 4327 in mind on the price, okay, and on the daily, if it goes back up again, Okay, you won't be looking for you're looking for a short from the highs. Okay, and that's that, because that's a really good engulfing. So going up to sell is not a bad idea. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Euro dollar, these are the astro hours for yesterday. Beautiful fall right in there. Okay, also we did have some targets down here. Remember this 0787, and they're here, and I said remember we should break here, but this Venus level here I said was not a bad place to go long either. So the market actually had a bit of retracement up move, as you can see, right into the astro hours. It's really interesting. You're going up from one astro hour to the next, and then you're coming down, and then now we've got these next levels here on the astro hours, right? And remember, we got room to come down here. Okay, so we're going to be coming down. This is a downwards trend, and remember, if we go up, we need to sell off. So the market will look for a place where it'll want to go up to sell again. Okay, and as you can see, they're just selling nicely, and there are no gaps here. This is really strong downwards pressure. So if we go up, you should be selling. Now on the daily, that's 42, which is 1.0888. 1.0888 is really out there. Okay, that's pretty much the weekly pivot. Let's refresh this. Now with the euro dollar as well, you can see we've got a bit of catching up to do. All right, so it's a nice push down. It's breaking levels. It's good. Okay, so we're looking for a place where the market should also go up to retrace. Okay, and that will probably bring us up into this 1.0830. All right. If it does, this is going to be a good sell location if it matches an astro hour, because it's just where the previous week low is. Okay, and that's the previous day's high. So if the market pushes up a little bit, selling is not a bad idea at all. And that is, you can see, that's that level there coming in. Okay, because this is where the push happened. That kind of broke this off here. Okay. So this has got room to come down. If it starts to push up, if you want to buy, this is going to be a buy zone. You can see this HCL1 line, 1.0725. So if I put a 1.0725, anybody who wants to buy wants to be looking around this price zone. So if the market does come down into this zone, okay, it's going to be good to go up. And like I said, Sunday, we're expecting a good aspect happening on Sunday. That'll impact what's going on Monday or even today. All right, so it might pull us nicely into a level where we'll be buying next week. Okay, and on the daily, like I said, we've got room to come down. This will come down. Okay, if you take a look at the weekly as well, oops, sorry, there. If you take a look at the weekly, I drew this line before. This will break. Okay, because we've got targets down here. This is still going down, remember? Okay, we've got a target all the way at 38, which is 1.0650, and the reason I didn't draw that is it's just too far out, okay, because we're day trading, okay? So, but you need to keep it in mind. So 1.0650 is all the way down there, all right? But if you got the weekly, if you're using ATAM, you see, you understand where you're going, all right? So you understand where you're going, and you know, this is the zone where the market bought before, so you understand this trend line is probably going to break, but it's going to be a first target for you. So, you know, putting these into perspective is not a bad idea. Sometimes trend lines work. Why? Because they match a bar where the market bought, or they fill in a gap. You see, they filled in the gap on the weekly. So this is now becoming all the way into this 1.0687, 1.0650, it's turning into a support zone where the market will want to pick up, okay? And that's what I'm talking about. Remember, I talked about this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we should have a big ABC, remember? On the weekly, I talked about it even. And I said we should be coming down lower than the 50. Okay, so this has got room to come down, and if you want to just wait for the market to go up and then you just keep joining the downtrend, that's fine. But you got to understand the market's moving in waves, so every now and then we'll have a few days going up, okay, and then boom, 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 coming down, like here, you know, like a few days up, coming down, a few days up, coming down, that kind of stuff. Okay, if you want to do that against the trend, just do it at the right place at the right time, and this is why we use financial astrology. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. Now Dow Jones, here we are. Now remember, we had these levels for selling off yesterday here and the weekly pivot there. So you can see the market went in there. Unfortunately, this was not an astro hour, but if you had taken a look at Dow Jones specifically, I'm sure you would have gotten something there. All right, so this is it. This is the morning. All right, this was like lunchtime, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock time zone. We had 1 o'clock, as you can see, and then the market went up nicely. But seeing that the market came to the targets, you would have taken profit here, because you're not going to be that dumb. Why? Because we said this is a good place to buy, but you remember, we're going down. All right, so the market, what did it do? It filled in the gap, you see. Fills in the gap, sells off aggressively. This is a really aggressive sell-off, and I said this will break 2, remember? This will break 2 and then will come down, and this is going to be your next zone. So it's nearly done that, but it did the low of that, closed the gap, nice and easy. All right, so pretty much going down into that 48. Looks like that'll be the target, but you can see we're going to go down further. Okay, we've got a lot of place, a lot of room to come down. So 33,316, 33,316, that is far out. Let's take a look at this. 33,988. 33,988 is down here. All right, so it's pretty much there. All right, and that was a target yesterday. So once you get to targets, you see, you got to like get out of the trade at the astro hours when you're at targets, or you got to, if you'd like, let's say you sold off at the breakout. Okay, you see the market broke down, astro hour, just sell it off again. Then you got to make sure you're covering your trades at the astro hours and the timing. Now this is today's weekly. If we go back up again, we should sell off. Okay, where daily pivot is not a bad idea. If we go up first, selling is an option. Okay, and then if the market comes down first, buying is an option, but standing in front of it, like I always say, be careful. Okay, you got 26, 23 here, 33,952, 693. So 952 is here. And 653 is always, well, it's all the way down here, 653. All right, so you got room to come down as well. If it comes down first into an astro hour, buying to go up is not a bad idea. If we go up first, obviously there's aggressive selling here. Selling is going to be the only option, because the market is selling so strong, and you don't want to be standing in front of it. Okay, at least not until you get into this blue zone here. Nasdaq, guys, same kind of thing. If you take a look at your astro hours, that's your, what did we have yesterday? 945. That's your 945. We had 10 past 8, didn't we? That's your, whatever, 10 past 8 around here should be. Okay, then we had, whoopsie daisies, that's your 12 o'clock, and that's your 1 o'clock there, and then we had that 206, that's your 206 there. All right, that's your 2 o'clock bar right there. So you can see the market's been hanging around in the highs, whoops, and then just boom. All right, now as you can see, it moved fast and furious right down into the target zone. right into the PST levels there. Okay, so that's pretty good. Okay, and if you take a look at the daily, you see that's your PST levels. They're going into the targets, and on the weekly as well, nearly made it to there. But you can see we're just bouncing off price levels. Okay, so once you see price levels on the price PST and the momentum PST, then you're thinking, well, that matches an Astro hour, so let's go. And I marked in this zone before. I said this is a zone where the market will want to sell. I told you guys about these levels when the market was down here. Remember, I said going up from here into here to sell off here is not a bad idea. And the market did exactly that. Just sold off big time. All right. So once you get the Astro hours, it's good. Now here again, you can see you got this shoulder, head, shoulder happening here. And that's good because when this thing breaks down, and it will break down, okay, we'll be down here. Okay, as you can see. So this is going to be coming down. Remember I said this market should be coming down, and it will. Remember when we broke out, I said we should come here, did the goodbye kiss. Okay, I still left it on. This line is going to happen and it's going to break. Okay, we've got room to come down with this. So what you want to do is wait for the push up in order to sell off. Okay, and that's going to be around the low of that, which is about 14,907, and that should bring you into this zone. All right, so the daily pivot and up here is a zone, but there are a lot of gaps here. Okay, a lot of them. Okay, so the market will want to make a push up, so just mark these levels. What you can do is this, because we've hit this level here, you're in a bit of a sandwich zone there with the weekly. Okay, but this should crawl up to sell off. Okay, it should crawl up to sell off. So if we go back up, okay, you got to look for where the market sold off before. So just draw your lines like I do, boom, and where the gaps are. So at an Astro hour, the market should sell off. If we go up a little bit in order to sell, looks good. Today, we've got some really good aspects, okay, where the market will probably take a turn, right? And that's starting at 8:45 there. Okay, and that's going to also happen around lunchtime, which is 12:30. Okay, so you got to keep your eyes out on the market. Just look at the Astro hours, between 12:30 and 1, and that 250 is going to be a zone. And then once the market turns around, be mindful at 5 o'clock. Once we have direction, it's going to take us all the way into the closing. Okay, so we could be just going up somewhere, and then the market on Monday, we're going to be looking to sell. Okay, so if it goes up today, then Monday we're definitely looking for a sell-off again. Bitcoin, let's take a look. Look, with Bitcoin, not much to talk about because I tell you guys to sell when the market goes up. I'm in a sell mode on this for ages, since these highs here. Remember, I also told you to buy mid-Jan, and this is like mid-Jan here. All right, so the market just boosted off, and these were the Astro planetary stuff there, where the market made a low, as you can see. So we're going to come back into these lower levels. You see, this is the Venus line here. I said don't sell off here either. Only sell off when the market closes the gap. So going up is an option. I think you should keep it in mind if you're day trading it, and then sell off. Okay, I hate to sell off at a place where the market has support. This is a Venus line. This is a demand level. So at Astro hours, going up is not a bad idea. This is not a bad price level. It's an LCL1 25186. So 25186 is a place where the market can come down to, and then from here, there could be support going up because that's our LCL1 line right there. And your resistance for today is at 31, which is 26219, 26219, which is here. So if it breaks above the 219, all right, let's say 2120 there, 220, So if we break above this, right, you see we've got room to go up, but coming down for support to go up, I think is the better way to go. On the weekly, we've done the targets, so it's all good. All right, so no selling at the lows here, but a bit of a retracement up in order to sell is looking better.